Let's see if they find it. All right. That was weird. It just ended. Hopefully they find it. They find the new stream. Okay. Well, I just restarted it. You should still be. That one right there in front of you, right at the top. Right there. The one right in front of you. There you go. Okay. Alrighty then. I have no idea what happened there. That was very strange. So, well, we're back. So, well, this will make it a lot easier to to say hello to everybody. So, Integra Guy, Steven Cicero, Aragon Strider, Automatic Beats, Burn, T-Gig, Tim I Am Crypto, and the infamous DJ Mines. Good to see you, sir. 4J, Steven Cicero, Tech Manti, 619 OTA, Overboard Tech, Sustainable Crypto, Galaxy 9 Synthesis, Dom G, Burn, Aragorn Strider, Tommy Coin, Network Bits. Good to see you, sir. Joe Spindler, Canadian Miner, Alexander Fleener, Steven Cicero. Who wants the countdown again? Sorry, man, not getting the countdown again. And Brian Hollywood and Bacon X Nash. I said DJ Mines. Of course I didn't miss DJ. I'd miss Joker Miner, but I don't even see him here. He probably got so mad at me he's not coming because I always forget to say his name. Not really. Crypto Craig, good to see you. New England Crypto, geek of all trades. I have no idea what happened. All of a sudden I looked up and it said go live. And I was like, I already hit go live. I don't know. Don't know what happened, but we're back. We're back. So that's all that matters, right? So hopefully everybody finds their way to the stream. You know what? Can you go to the old one? Yeah, you can actually. Okay, hold on a second. I need to go to the old one. 100%. Well, hold on. I'm not on that, so I can't see that right now. So I need to go to my content, go to live, go to that. And I don't have any comments here. All right. Well, I can't really go into the chat because the chat was dead anyway. So never mind. We'll get out of that. We'll go back to here. All righty. Well, thank you, Retro Mike Tech, for the 99-cent super chat. And as long as I'm here, Tommy Coin and Sustainable Crypto and Cincy Miner. Meep. Boop. Anyway, so anyway, thank you guys for all being here. I appreciate it. So, as Mining King says, let's get right into it. So I did not see what was going on. I hadn't had a chance to watch the WAN show. Hadn't really seen what was going on, but I did catch Gamers Nexus marathon roast of, and I mean not like fun roast, I mean like roast of Linus Tech Tips today. Obviously, things have been happening over the last week or so that had kind of boiled over, but this whole thing started with a video where bald guy with beard, have no idea what his name was. He's one of the guys that's in charge of the lab over at Linus Tech Tips, Linus Media Group, made a comment on a taped version of the tour, basically saying, we create all new data, unlike hardware unboxed in Gamers Nexus. Gamers Nexus was just like, we're going to let it fly. We're not going to say anything. Hardware Unboxed was not standing for it. They came back and said, hold on a second, raised a bunch of issues about their testing and all that kind of stuff. And that they do new testing all the time when they're doing their comparison, all that kind of stuff. And basically the response from Linus was, yeah, whatever. and other people piled on. And then I guess Gamers Nexus had finally said, you know what? We can't let this stand. We got to set the record straight. So he came out with about a 40-minute video today that honestly was shocking. You know, I think basically he positioned Linus Tech Tips. Yes, they're a tech YouTuber, but they're entertainment first and foremost. Not so worried about the actual detail that they provide in their videos. In other words, don't make any of your buying decision based on a Linus Tech Tips video. That's really what it comes down to. Do not be watching them. You want to watch Jay's 2 Cents, Gamers Nexus, Hardware Unboxed are the three that I mainly watch. All of those are very reputable and will fall on the sword when they make a mistake. Of course, Gamers Nexus, I don't really think makes mistakes. I mean, they make mistakes, but not on the order of what we're talking about here. So I took a bunch of notes, and this is only honestly skimming the surface. There's a number of other things that are just blatant laziness. Hopefully I didn't just stop again. All right. Well, somebody put something in chat. I was able to put something in chat. So I guess it's a me problem. Maybe, I don't know. This is weird. All right. Well, I'll keep an eye on the end broadcast to see if it changes to a go live button again. I hope that's not the case. If so, I don't know what I'm going to do. I will still go live. I'll have to figure it out. Anyway, so I took, nope, there it's back. No, I'm not in the ring, although maybe I'm going to put myself in the ring. I'm bigger than all them anyway, so maybe older, maybe not as quick, but I'm bigger. Anyway, so kind of going over a couple of things. So as I said, Labs made a claim during their tour that their data is better, that their data is more recent, and that they specifically called out Hardware Unboxed and Gamers Nexus, saying that they reuse data. And Hardware Unboxed flat out said, yeah, if it's within the last month, but otherwise we purge the data and we create new data each time. Hardware Unboxed is just over the top testing, in my opinion. They don't need to go to that extent. I mean, I'm glad they do, and I'd rather have somebody do that than not do enough testing. But yeah, I mean, I'm like kind of skimming some of their stuff because they go to such detail that it to me it becomes mundane. I'm like, just give me the overall. Is this good? Is this bad? And why? And I'm sure I'm not the only one that does that, but it's good to know that you can go back and look at their video and know that the data is solid and consistent. Same thing with Gamers Nexus. So a couple of the very egregious things that were pointed out was, I'll start with the just kind of stupid when they did a I forget what it's called. It's their unboxing channel basically, and Ponage gave them a mouse to review to open up, and I think it was Colton. No, I don't know. One of their reviewers, doesn't really matter which one it was, opened it up and said, this is like really sticky. It doesn't glide at all. And the problem was he didn't take the stickers off of the glides. So people were defending him, saying, well, you know, if a reviewer, a tech reviewer cannot even figure out that there's stickers on there, how's the average consumer? Not the point. Open up the freaking instructions. Open up the instructions. They're going to tell you to take those off. Assume there's stickers on it. Yeah, I mean, bottom line is assume there's stickers on it. I mean, anyway, so Ponage is a really small company, and they gave a really awful review to this product and hurt them. What's really interesting, though, is that from what I understand, that ended up being an LTX, their show, a giveaway. Now, do they feel like they needed a giveaway because of the review was so bad? Maybe. I don't know if that was set up beforehand or not. But bottom line is, you've got these small companies sending product to what they think is a reliable, relatable, is going to be and give an honest review, and yet they short cycle and short change the whole damn thing. I mean, even there was a video done probably 6 months ago where Linus allowed this to go out, where basically what were people saying that worked at Linus Tech Tips? What was it like to work at Linus Tech Tips was, I think, the title of the video. And they asked people, what would you change? What they would change was more than a few people. LMG is Linus Media Group. So that's Linus Tech Tips. So basically the biggest tech tuber out there. But they were all saying, or I shouldn't say all, a number of them, a number of significant ones were saying, I wish we could take more time on our videos and focus more on quality. And it was at least 3 or 4 of them that were interviewed that all said that. And I think that's really, really telling of from the top. It's go, 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 go. We don't have enough time. They have 25 videos to do a week. 25 videos to do a week. And that's obviously a lot of work. And I credit them for the work that they put in. There's obviously a lot of editors that put in a lot of work. But bottom line is the actual facts in the content are being overlooked, unfortunately. So anyway, Crypto Crag for the $5 super chat. Hit them likes. Boom. Anyway, I'll even give you a little boop if you give me a super chat. So there you go, Crypto Crag. Which I'm stealing from Tom Grossi, by the way. Tom Grossi is a Green Bay Packer fan that streams. He's really hilarious. If you haven't ever checked him out, check him out. He does a lot of football stuff. Anyway, so that was the first thing, the whole thing with ponage. Another thing that came up, again, I'll kind of go up in severity. The next one was they did cooler reviews, and there were so many errors in that cooler review that Gamers Nexus pointed out. But the one that was the most egregious was they're basically trashing NZXT's Kraken X67. X63. Basically saying that it was worse than an AMD Wraith cooler. A 280 AIO cooler is worse than a AMD Wraith cooler? Yeah, I don't think so. Network Bits with the $1.49 super chat. Boop. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. So, I mean, that's honestly just ridiculous. And as he put it, very diplomatically, our testing doesn't support this claim. That was what he said to it, basically calling it BS. But anyway, I just thought that was kind of funny the way he said it. Just like, yes, and our testing does not support this claim. So he was actually very diplomatic for some of it, and then some of it he just flat out he just started speeding up. He got fired up during part of this video, which I'll get to at the end. He was pretty fired up about this part. But anyway, and then they basically said, oh, you got to use the NZXT software, whatever. It's like, okay, you want to trash the product because of the way it was designed? Fine, but don't say it doesn't cool correctly because you didn't use it properly. So that, yeah, that was definitely not done well. And there was a number of cooler results that didn't make sense, that were probably poor mounts. But I mean, it was like consistently the NZXT DH15, I think is what it's called. Anyway, I've got one downstairs, but is better than the Peerless Assassin consistently, except for on the Ryzen 7700, where it was significantly worse. That made no sense. So it's probably got a poor mount. Well, make sure your testing's done properly. So it's current, but you got to make sure it's accurate. Anyway, so there was that. And then worst of all was Billet Labs and what they did to them. Billet Labs is a startup, absolute startup, where they are making a copper water block. And they provided it, and it's for GPUs. They provided it to Linus Tech Tips, saying it was a 3090 Ti. Well, they tried to mount this thing to, oh, yep, that's what I was just getting into, sustainable crypto. Actually, I thought it was a 3090 Ti, but whatever. It was either the 3090 or a 3090 Ti. And they tried to apply it to a 4090 and then said it was a piece of junk because it wouldn't work with a 4090. I mean, what kind of BS is that? But wait, there's more. Oh, and Mining King with the 499 super chat. Max Tech Tips. Boop. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. Anyway, but wait, there's more. So they not only trashed the product, didn't review it properly by basically placing it on a product that would accept it properly. They then said that they would send it back. This was a startup company. This was their only demo, their only product. And Linus Tech Tips openly said that they would return it at the end of June. That's what they said. They would return it. But then they auction it off. Brand new. This is like what their whole company is based upon. They auction it off to the highest bidder. So who's to say that a competitor didn't come in, or maybe an eventual competitor bought it for probably pennies on the dollar and reverse engineer it and sell their own product? I mean, come on. I mean, that just seemed like they were just trying to get back at them because they fought back with it. That was just unbelievable. And now they don't even have the demo to give to another reviewer to correct the mistakes of Linus Tech Tips. And his reaction was, well, I don't really feel like I have anything to apologize. That's the essence of what was said. I think it was like over the 2 hour mark, just over the thing, it was 2 hour 10, somewhere around there. Actually, let me pull up. Somebody told me where it was in there. Let's see here. Hang on a second. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Give me a second. Where did he put it? Here it was. 219.50 was where he actually talked about his response, but it was kind of like, there was no apology at all for the mistakes made. And really what it comes down to is that what it shows is what's the real algorithm. Any of us YouTubers know, and I know, even though I don't produce a lot of content other than the live stream, but the real algorithm is the more content you put out, the more views you're going to get and the more money you're going to make. And he knows that. So therefore, he pushes out 25 videos a week, regardless of the quality of the content. Not this week, Retro Mike. So yeah, and I think that's what's unfortunate. So Gamers Nexus, I mean, puts quality above all else with his content. He makes sure that his testing is done correctly, and sponsors be damned, he is going to call it like he sees them. And if you look at how Linus Tech Tips covered Asus with their recent fiascos with quality, in a various point, but obviously the most egregious was their BIOS with their AMD motherboards, their AM5 motherboards, that there was a lot of issues, especially with the 3D chips. And really didn't hear anything from Linus Tech Tips because they have such a close relationship with Asus. All the others, Jay's 2 cents, cut off Asus. They're like, you know what? We're done. We're done. If this is the way they're going to operate, we don't want to have any part of them. I don't know if Gamers Nexus went that far, but they went so far as to say something's got to change. And so I think they're not trying to cut off all ties. They're trying to keep the ties there so that they can hopefully invoke a change. Kind of like they've done in other situations. So anyway, it's really interesting to see how Linus Media Group is operating. And honestly, it's disappointing. It really is. Now, was I making any buying decisions on Linus Media Group's videos? No, absolutely not. I knew a long time ago. I have better sources than they. Now, you talk about Tech Linked, entertaining as hell. Bottom line is Linus Media Group is a hell of an entertainment channel that's around technology. Regardless of how they are, they're still a tech tuber. They're just an entertainment first tech tuber, not a facts first tech tuber. They have made that abundantly clear with their responses. So I wish that it was different, especially with their investment in the labs. And I think that's really where things have changed. Before it was kind of like, yeah, they're entertainment first, but now they're spouting themselves as, look, we've got our labs. Look, we're going to be testing all of this stuff. It's going to be amazing. And we're going to tell you how it really is and all that kind of stuff. Well, just because you have a lab, if it's not run properly, then guess what? Garbage in, garbage out. And right now, it doesn't take much garbage. You can have a lot of really good stuff and a little bit of garbage in a review. And if that garbage makes its way in, it's still garbage out because you still have mistakes. So anyway, it got me really fired up today. I don't think we've heard the end of this, especially after Gamers Nexus video that came out today. I think it's going to force a reply from Linus Media Group, but we'll see if they actually reply to it. I think they're going to be forced to on the WAN show on Friday because they're going to be asked so many questions about this. And everybody loves drama. Come on. Everybody watches. It's like a train wreck. You cannot turn away. And in this case, everybody's going to be trying to stoke the fires. They're going to be like, okay, we want to see something. So even all their subscribers, all of their people on there, not Patreon, but their float plane, that are paying subscribers, they are going to demand a response to the Gamers Nexus video. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. If they're smart, they'll get ahead of it and not wait until the WAN show, in my opinion. That way they can kind of not have to do it. It can be more prepared. That's the key. Network Bits with the $2 super chat. Whoop, when shed video? Probably never. Probably never. Well, we have a shed, but it's not a crypto shed. Yeah, that's probably going to be never. And part of the reason for that, yeah, I won't say never. But for right now, no. Honestly, with the current prices of Terra, it has got me thinking a little bit more about hosting. So at least with additional, I'm comfortable with what I've got right now. Right now I'm running a little bit of Nexa, a little bit of Radiant, a little bit of Dynex. So with those three things running in the basement, plus a few other things, but that is basically just at about 4,000 watts. So I've only got 130 amp circuit, so I've got about 1,700 watts left. But at 4,000 watts, when you start getting into the 80s and 90s, yeah, it gets pretty damn hot. That's for sure. Max voltage. I know I'm late, but are you so far behind on the laundry that you had no flannel available? It's a little warm for flannel. I have been buying flannels though. Well, Sunflower Mama has been buying flannels. Costco had great deals on flannels, so I got a few new ones. So $10 at Costco. Thought it was a little early considering we bought it like 2-3 weeks ago, something like that. But I was like, for $10, can't pass that up. So I think I got 3 new flannels, right? Something like that. Anyway, so just wait. It's coming. Gotta wait until it gets at least until like the 50s before I can start wearing that. I'd be like, I'm already like sweating because, well, this kind of got me fired up, but man, it's hot at work. It's really hot at work. Alrighty. Let's see if I missed any other comments. I have not seen Jay's 2 cents jump in. I think in this particular case, he might just be deciding to basically just get out a bowl of popcorn. I did see that he went to LTX, so maybe he's a little closer to Linus Media Group than Gamers Nexus, maybe. So I don't know. Don't know about that, but and then Argon says, is Linus just burnt out? He did a video a while back where he basically wanted to quit. He's hired a new CEO to come in, going to take some time to right the ship. I wouldn't say he's burnt out. The thing is that when you're a CEO of a company, not that I've ever been one, Mining King, I've never been a CEO. There is so much just mundane finances, paperwork, HR stuff that you don't get to do what you love. So yes, was he burnt out in the running the business? Yes. So he decided that it's time, hire a CEO so he can get back to what he loves, which is doing the videos, providing direction on the video content for the company. You know, that's what he loves. That's where his passions lie. His passion was never to run a company. His passion was to do what the company does. And so he wants to be, you know, still the face of the company and be doing all of that. So anyway, I think that's really what it comes down to. Network Vic says all in on Helium Mobile. Yeah, but you gotta buy an extra thing, right? And now Brian Hollywood's just gonna leave because you brought up the term helium. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Anyway, Patrick Guyan says, I like how Linus justified it by cost of employee wages, not considering cost of his own image and brand cost. Yeah, that was exactly it. He was like, well, am I really supposed to spend another $100, $200, $500 of somebody's time in order to make these small corrections? Yeah, because accuracy matters. It's like, you know, this piece of software has a few bugs in it, but we got workarounds. It's no problem. Let's just deal with them. We got workarounds. So I'm not spending money to fix it. Brian Hollywood, still here. Awesome, man. Okay, I can do a poll. You know, wasn't he in here? Panda. I don't do it as well because I don't have the reverb on. I suppose I could. I'm not pulling that up. Anyway. All right. Well, maybe if we do a poll. Let's see here. Yes, I do know how to do a poll. So what was the question? Is Panda team Linus or team Steve, like Gamers Nexus? Yeah. I'll say I'll do it that way. Team Linus and team GN. Is Panda team Linus or team Gamers Nexus? Linus. It's actually, his name's Steve, but I'll put Gamers now. I'll just put GN. The crazy update in chat.
So I would take that as a no.
I would definitely take that as a no. I thought I read through the whole thing. Oh, well, okay, wait a minute. I don't know which Mining King. I don't know which one you're talking about. But do you really want me to talk about like the change you've made? Is that what you're talking about? I know in our chat. I know which chat you're talking about. Not that obtuse.
You gotta say it. Famous, like, baby juice, you gotta say it 3 times.
Oh. RPM. 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 Let's see. I did, if you're talking about the actual response from LMG on the WAN show, yes, I did see that. Oh, you know what? I didn't look at the comments though. I don't know. That all right, I'm not really sure. Anyway, I'm looking to see if there's anything else here. Maybe I didn't scroll up high enough. Yeah, I guess I probably didn't see everything. No, I didn't. I have not seen everything. Anyway, no, I definitely did not review the whole chat today. I did not go all the way through it. So I did. Well, we'll talk about that in a bit. If you're talking about the Jake Tran video, yeah, let me know if that's what you're talking about. All right, I'll have to go back over that, but no, I did not. But thanks for letting me know that. All right, let me get back to this. Let's see what else we got. All right, so then Nerdby says, oh, like Beetlejuice, yeah. Sustainable Crypto says that gets you 30 days in the hole. Oh, for not reading the chat. Oh, well, okay. What am I gonna do? Yes, it does seem like he is AFK. Anyway, that's right. I mean, come on. Linus Media Group is like right near where he lives, so hard to really say that he's not LMG, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't always agree with the way that they handle things. So Mining King says Canadians always stick together.
It looks like it says crypto
Canadians. Oh. Yeah. Oh, I get what you're saying. Got it. Sustainable Crypto. Yes, the word obtuse was used in Shawshank Redemption. And it got him 30 days in the hole. That's what he was referring to. But see, I didn't call anybody else obtuse. I called myself. Well, I said I wasn't obtuse, is what I said. But okay. Anyway, but yeah, good catch on that. That's where everybody kind of knows that word from. Alrighty. Well,
English class.
Or English class. Yes. Okay. Let me see if there was anything else on that subject. I think I've kind of beat that one to death, but I don't think the story's over. So, oh, the one other thing was, I mean, seriously, they installed the Peerless Assassin cooler backwards and then blamed it on the company when it clearly states in the directions how to install it. Like, seriously? Anyway, so like I said, it's just calling it out. So anyway, be interesting to see what happens. Alrighty. Next subject. Which one was going to be my next subject? Oh, TXBit. Yeah, well, if you got money in TXBit, it's time to get it out because they are shutting down. Again, really kind of similar to the Bittrex situation where it was not a point of like an FTX or something like that. It's just we are sad, but we're going to shut down given all of the regulations and everything else going on right now. So it's just another situation where our government is basically making businesses go out of business because they're just making it too difficult to do business. And that's not what we're supposed to be doing. So hopefully Gary Gensler won't be around much longer because, man, does he suck? Anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Anybody drunk yet with me saying anyway so many times? Although I don't think I've said it as much since I stayed on that one subject for quite a while. Alrighty. Oh, sorry. One last thing. Sorry, going back to LMG. Forgot one last thing. I loved how Gamers Nexus was using Linus's own words against him. And one of the quotes was, doing it halfway is basically meaningless. In other words, if you do something halfway, what's the point? Well, I think he needs to take some of his own advice. All right. So yeah, TXBit is, sorry, switching back. TXBit is going out of business. I think it's till September 14th, I'm pretty sure was the date that you have to get your money out. And after that, sorry, not going to be able to get your money out. So, and they said in the first couple of days, probably going to be a little difficult. Oh, Brian Hollywood said, new OneZero Miner released 20 minutes ago. Please review. I will. I know that in my particular case, I had to go into, I'm using Hive OS, as many of us are. I had to make sure that the watchdog was properly configured. So I went in there and would set it up so, you know, if it was, I don't know, whatever, let's say 1 gigahash, just throwing a number out there. If it was 1 gigahash, then I would set it at like 900 mega hash, that if it got to that point, restart the miner. Because it was basically going to 0 and staying there for a long period of time before I had set that. And so my rigs have been setting anywhere probably about once or twice a day. I've been resettings to get the hash rate back going. But in general, it's worked, but obviously not ideal. So hopefully this OneZero Miner release will help fix that problem. But let's bring it up and see what. Yep, 1.2.3. Well, where's your README to say what you changed? Yeti had it running for like a day already. He got early access to it, no issues. Yeah, I'm just curious what it fixed. That's what I was trying to find. Oh, I guess if I go here, that's why I was just in the wrong spot. So the change log here, let me share my screen. Why do I always forget how to do this? And add to scene. There we go. So change log. Is that big enough? That's what she said. Actually, that's what he said. Anyway, add support for SSL and TLS. Pool URLs now support SSL. Added new option, no cert validation to skip SSL. So basically, it looks like it's a lot of SSL stuff. Added rejected shares monitoring to Watchdog. Revised Watchdog's issue handling. The miner does a full restart of Malab and pool connections on Watchdog issues. Again, this is what I was talking about. There's been some issues with that. Remove the OpenSSL 1.1 dependency and updated internal OpenSSL library to the latest version. OpenSSL now statically linked. Max no job options since it is redundant, and max no ACC does the same job, so that was deprecated. This option is disabled in this version, will be removed in the next release. Added more dev pools and randomization of dev pool selection to reduce the load on pool servers. Fixed a bug that could freeze the miner on multiple Malab reconnections, and then minor bug fixes. So nothing other than to try to make sure that your miner stays up and running more often and more secure. Anybody else have any comments on that as anything else I would have missed? But that's kind of the way I'm reading this. But thank you for bringing that to my attention. I appreciate it. Steven Cicero says one of the big issues was him putting his dev field to one pool and it fails to go to another, which caused major issues on a pool. Oh, interesting. Alrighty. And yes. Okay. So I saw all my, and Brian Hollywood with the $1.99 super chat. I just read what he said. Boop. So thank you for the super chat. Very much appreciate it. Ted said TXBit was claiming to be licensed in Belgium, but is really out of Seychelles. Okay. Anyway, I don't even know where the heck that is, but yeah, there was definitely, I heard that as well. There were some things that maybe they ran a little too, they weren't in the details of what they needed to do in order to be within regulations pretty much forever anywhere. So anyway, and then Hawk Crypto saying, I'm sorry, I'm late. That'll be a spanking for you, son. Anyway, yes, yeah, that's the chump change. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Anyway, alrighty. Travelers Travels. I did see the link, Travelers Travels. I haven't had a chance to look at it since I was preparing for the stream, but thank you for that. I appreciate it. I have no money to buy anything right now, so yeah, probably not going to be taking advantage of it, but maybe we'll see. Anyway, that escalated quickly. Yeah, everyone needs to update it ASAP. It's only going to help the pools. And Hawk says, awkward. Alrighty, let's get into the next subject, which was luck pool. So this I found really interesting. Not Lucky Miners, luck pool. Actually, I don't even need to get to the miner. I just need to get to here, right? That's what I needed. All right, let me zoom this in and then let me reshare the add to scene. Okay, so luck pool is a Varus mining pool. I don't even remember how I came across it. This is not sponsored. I just found it really interesting and honestly pretty creative. You know, you have solo mining and you have pool mining, and nowhere in the middle is there anything, or a lot less. I already did make it bigger. About as big as I can make it without. Okay, that way we can see all the information on there. But this one has some pretty interesting features. First of all, they don't really even have straight pool mining. And this actually makes me understand why I'm like, gosh, I don't feel like I'm making as much Varus as I should. Well, that's because they've incorporated a miner's jackpot. So each Varus block is 6 Varus. And if Retro Mike's here, he can correct me on anything I say that's incorrect about it, but I'm pretty sure it's 6 Varus. And so when they're paying it out, they're paying 1 to the actual miner that mined that particular block. And then the other 5 is being split for the pool. I was like, that's cool. So I had done like 2 in the last 2 days where I got blocks. I got really lucky. So yeah, I made a little bit extra, made an extra 2 Varus, which is pretty cool. I like that. Then you look down a little bit further, and then you have hybrid solo mining, which, you know, a lot of people are like, God, if I do solo mining, I could just mine forever and not make anything. Well, hybrid solo mining is kind of the best of both worlds. The fact that if you hit a block, you make 75% or 4.5 Varus. And yeah, it actually tells you here with between the 4.5 and the 1.5. Anyway, you make 4.5 Varus, and then 25% goes to the pool miners. So they split the 1.5 Varus. So that is pretty cool as well. I'm still on the pool mining. I'm doing the miner's jackpot, debating whether to give hybrid solo a try, especially since I've had some luck and I'm hitting some blocks, but haven't decided whether to do that or not. But I thought that was really cool. I like this pool a lot. Yeah, there's a couple other good pools out there. It's not like this is the only one out there, but I thought it was very unique and I've liked it. And best of all, my latency to it is like 15 milliseconds. It's crazy. It's like super fast. So most of my other pools that are anywhere between 20 and 40. So not some of them are still very quick, but I have very few that are that fast that they're like in the 12 to 14 milliseconds consistently. So anyway, thought I'd just bring that to your attention. I thought that was pretty cool. And all right. And then the last thing I had on, at least on the thumbnail, was talking about variable rate. So I've talked about variable rate a lot, but I never really got down to specifics about it. So I actually downloaded the last 3 years and put it into a spreadsheet. And let me bring that up. Gaming it yet?
I don't know what you're talking about because I wasn't.
Are you gaming it yet? I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Mind something. I never look at gaming anything. If you're working within the system and you're working as things are intended, you're not gaming anything. It's just a matter of, so I'm not sure what you mean by that. Maybe there is a way to game the system. I'm just not familiar with it. Retro Mike says, used to be the go-to pool for all Equihash, Komodo, and Varus back in 2020. They've since gone to Varus only. The miner jackpot is to prevent people from pool hopping. Well, it was working for me. I enjoy it. I just think it's kind of cool. Oh, and then Patrick Guy says, wow, awkward father-son moment. Crypto and Max. Okay. So let me share the screen. Okay. I know this is a lot of numbers. So that's the whole table. So I'm going to make it so that the one table is the width of the screen, or one line is the width of the screen. So if we look at, well, I'll just run you through it basically. So, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to do something else too. So this particular is obviously end of the billing period, the kilowatts from the grid, kilowatts to the grid, and net grid consumption. Honestly, these two are irrelevant for our conversation because it's really the net consumption that's really going to define the cost. So I am, well, there we go. I'm going to go hide those. That enables me to make that a little bit bigger. Oh, mine's something. Use bad luck on pool, then switch to solo after TTF expires. LOL. Oh, I see what you're saying. No, I'm not doing things like that. I mean, I suppose I could. I know things like that you can do, but I don't know. Anyway, no, I'm not doing that. I'm just sitting on it as the miner jackpot, the pool mining. So, all right. So if we look at the first line, this is the most recent month. 3.7 kilowatt hours. Sorry, 3.7 megawatt hours actually. So this is the cost, and then the standard rate would have been $47.41 more. So the savings is $47.41. It actually tells me what my average supply cost was. But what's interesting is this is pretty much irrelevant because in Illinois we have varying tax structure. Like our taxes and the things that go into the tax portion of our bill are so complicated right now that actually has as big of an effect on your cost of your power. What is this phone? Well, it's about time you got here. You know, I didn't even look. So, oh, wow, that's disappointing. It says that it looks like Panda's Team Linus instead of Team Gamers Nexus. Wow, I'll end that poll. You can't be. No. That's like somebody saying they're a White Sox fan and a Cubs fan. Are you kidding me? So those people in Illinois know what I'm talking about. I mean, come on. That's like saying you're a Boston Red Sox fan and a Yankees fan. I mean, seriously, can't be a fan of both. Wow. Lost all kinds of respect, Panda. Uh, anyway, so going back to this, so you can see like here, like in the latest month is 4.7 cents and the effective cost, and that's still a little bit higher than what it actually is because I'm not taking out the fixed costs. There's a standard set of fixed costs that will affect the overall pricing. But anyway, puts me at like 12 cents. But if you look down here where I'm like in August of last year, okay, I used more power, 5.7 megawatts, megawatt hours, and in a month. And this one, you can see how much more the supply cost is, but the effective taxes and distribution is only less than 2 cents and almost the exact same. So what's happening here is there is a carbon-free resource adjustment that's being made. And the higher the cost of power goes, the more negative that goes. So it's an effect against it. So really what it's doing is in Illinois, they decided we wanted to make sure that nuclear power plants stayed in operation. They are more expensive power. So power companies aren't going to choose it unless forced to. So our legislature decided we're going to force them to use that power, but we're going to do it in such a way that we make sure that the nuclear power plants don't lose money. But the thing is they also can't game the system by making more money as a result. So the higher the cost of electricity, the more negative that adjustment is. And the lower the cost of electricity, the more positive that is. So in an essence, kind of levels out that the cost of electricity, the market level cost of electricity. For the average consumer that's paying a standard rate, it doesn't do that. It actually makes things go up and down a lot more. So what's really ironic about the way things are right now is variable rate is actually more consistent than the standard rate. The standard rate varies more. So figure that out. But anyway, bottom line is that I have saved consistently, except for 1 month, which was last August. I don't remember what the circumstances were around that. We all know cost of electricity was higher back then. But I mean, overall, I have saved thousands of dollars on this. If we look in the last 3 years here, let's just do this. There it is. In the last 3 years, I've saved $3,000 on this over standard rate. So an average of about $1,000 a year, although obviously the more mining equipment I've had, I actually could do this as well. Oh, that's not what I wanted. We go to here, and is there a sum somewhere down here? I do not see it. This is not Excel, so it doesn't do what I want it to do. But anyway, as you can see, this is saving me quite a bit. Now, the other thing you'll see is some of these months where I had lower costs, that was because back when our mining profits were a lot less, I was mining less, and I was mining only during very profitable hours. I was only mining overnight. And at that time, because of how I was mining, I had a lower cost of electricity. So I can make my cost of electricity a lot less by not mining when the cost of electricity is higher, but overall I'm losing out on profits because mining's profitable at higher than 12 cents at this point. So yeah. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to give you that. This is somewhat unique to Illinois. There's other places around the country that have very different types of variable rates, time of use, that type of thing. But hopefully more places in the country will do something like this. Maybe not with the carbon-free adjustment thing, but we'll do something like this because this is really how people can save money. Think of an electric price, the standard electric price. Nobody knows how much electricity is going to cost tomorrow or the next day or a week from now or a month from now. but they have to set the rate. It's insurance. They have to set the rate at a rate where they know they won't lose money or be much, much less likely to lose money. So it's insurance. This is not insurance. You're always going to win out when you are buying things for what they actually cost, with, of course, a little bit of a, a margin. Of course, they got to make some money on me, but it's only based upon that margin, as opposed to, algorithms to say, okay, well, we think it's going to be this, and therefore we got to price it here to make sure we don't lose money. So they always have to price it higher that way. So that's why this works. So in general, I've saved an average of around 20%, little over 20% on this program. And I've been on this program now 9 years. So it's been around a long time. So if you live in Illinois, check it out. So, all right, now is there a cap on the rate? No, there is not a cap on the rate. I have shown in the past where I've had the cost of electricity has gone to $3.50 per kilowatt hour for an hour. But again, that happened during this period of time. It wasn't September. It was some other time. And yet I still save money because it's an outlier. Outliers don't make you lose money. And on top of that, you can set alerts. And I've thought about trying to figure out a way to automate this, because you can do, like, if IFTTT is a website where you can actually go in and set thresholds and set things to happen. I have not done any of that yet, but I have thought about it, so that if, like, it exceeds a certain threshold in the supply rate, then I will shut off. But again, I right now only have it set up to send me alerts when it gets to a certain rate. That's all. So, all right, let's, and there's other ways. Crypto Shaped also has talked about this, and I mentioned this on another stream as well, that I could take this a step further by putting batteries at my house and not using the solar panels to charge them. Heck no. Actually having the batteries charge overnight on the cheap energy, and then during the day dissipate along with the solar, where I would run all day when the electric prices are much, much higher, and save, tons of money. Now, it takes a long time for it, because the batteries aren't cheap, and the whole setup's not cheap. So it takes a while for it to pay back, but it is a good idea. Nerdbeast says, we have variable rates here in the Republic of Texas, and during the polar freeze, people saw their variable rates go as high as $1,600 per kilowatt hour. Insane. Yes, that is insane. But the problem, so here's the thing. Yes, that's insane, but you have to dig a little deeper on that. Okay, so that's not the problem with variable rates being the problem. The problem is that Texas has disconnected from the rest of the grid. They've said, nope, we want no part. We're not supplying the rest of the grid, because they didn't want to pay, I guess there's fees associated with it, but there's benefits to it. So that if in your area things go crazy, you can pull from the grid and therefore average it out with the rest of the country. Well, they didn't do that. And that's why you saw those prices go like that. Now, it would have affected the rest of the country as well somewhat, but it wouldn't, it would have all averaged out. Yes, maybe I might have gone up to like 20, 25 cents or something like that for a period of time. But bottom line is, they have chosen to not be connected to the grid. And I think temporarily the US government said, oh, okay, all right. We'll connect you to the grid, even though for all these years you've refused. We'll connect you to the grid. So, max voltage mining and crypto, you don't get federal tax credit on batteries if charged from non-renewable sources. Well, how are they going to know? That's what Sunflower Mama just said. How are they going to know? I have them installed one way, and then just make a little change. Make a little change. Anyway, there we go. 3 shots. I said it 3 times in a row. I'm taking a drink. All right. All right. Wow. Lots of chat. Let me catch up. Crypto. Oh, I did that. Paul was right. Is there a cap? No, no cap on the rate. Today mortgage rates don't work out this way. Yeah, mortgage, that's a totally different subject. I used to be in the mortgage industry, know how it works. Yeah. All I can say is when I bought my first house, back when I was a kid and I bought a first house, it was 9%. And my first refinance was at 7.5%. And I was like, oh, I'm golden. I'll never get a lower rate than this. And now I'm sitting below 3%. Yeah. It's a good time to be in the mortgage industry. Like is like the gift that kept on giving. You got a customer that liked you, you refinanced them 3, 4. I think I even had one that did 5 times because every time it went down 0.25%, they're like, I'm in, let's go. I want to save the money because I used to do no cost refinances. So anyway, good old days, good old days. Let's see. All right. Cap on the rate. All right. Then we have variable rates here. Oh, that's what you already said. When poker, I don't know. When PokerStars decides it's going to fix it. By the way, hi Joker Miner. How are you? Because I know if I don't say hi, he gets like he's in a really bad mood if I don't say hi to him. So sorry for everybody else that had to hear that. Yes, peak shaving. Exactly, 4J. That's exactly what it's called. By the way, Crypto Shape does have a YouTube channel, and he did talk about this on one of his videos. So go check that channel out. Guess you all do it better over in your state. You know, we don't do a lot of things better here in Illinois. That's for sure, right, Network Bits? But in this particular case, we do. And it's kind of interesting because we're a blue state. Not making any, blue state versus red state, not doing that. But in a blue state, there are some good things that do come out of it. In the fact that we have what's called Citizens Utility Board. And they are a watchdog on the utilities, making sure they don't screw consumers. And they have a ton of pull. Like they have a lot of power, but they don't abuse it. I mean, bottom line is they absolutely go to bat for consumers, and therefore we have reasonable utility rates as a result. So kudos to the Citizens Utility Board of Illinois. They do a very good job, and I'm happy to have them here in Illinois. All right. And Argon Strider says, oh, jumped. You don't get federal. Oh, you already said that. Veteran Miner, welcome to the stream. All right. So Overwortex says, I'm still paying a monthly power fee from Excel in Minnesota for TX dumbass ice storms. Yes. So Overwortex, yeah, closing costs. So I'll go a little bit on a mortgage. So things are a little bit different now than they used to be. My understanding is that they've changed it where if you are a mortgage originator, you have to have a set fee structure. In other words, if you're going to charge 0 points, then it means you charge 0 points on all of your mortgages. That you have to be consistent about how you do that. Before, you could do it in such a way where you could do a couple of things. You could make a ton of money, or you could make a small amount of money or a smaller amount of money, and either offer a lower rate or pay closing costs. So what I used to do was I would make a set amount that was set by the company, somewhere in the range. There was a range of, there was a range. Let's just put it that way. And it was on the lower end of what most other people were doing at the company, but he said it, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to do it through volume. So 1 year I did like 360 mortgages. So anyway, what I would do is, so let's say the going rate was 6%, just throw that out there. The going rate was 6% at 0%. Well, we're selling the mortgages. So if I sell the mortgage at 6 1/4, you think a 6 1/4 rate mortgage is going to be more valuable than a 6%? Of course it is. And therefore they're going to pay you more. So therefore you take the additional amount that you're making on that mortgage and you take that and pay the person's closing costs. That's what I did. All the time. It was just, why is she poking me? Oh, I don't know if you saw that. Was it high enough where you could actually see her pushing me with a pole, cardboard pole? Anyway, so like I said, I did that all the time, and people will be like, "Are you sure?" Like, look, and I used to tell people, like, look, you have no money in this, okay? So you go to the closing and look at the numbers. If the numbers aren't what I say they are, walk away. No problem. Just walk away. And what I used to also tell people that would go somewhere else was, remember, if you go to the closing and the numbers aren't what they say they are, walk away. And I tell my own customers that if it's not the way I say it is, walk away. My numbers were always correct and could show that it wasn't going to cost the person anyway. Occasionally I get people that would call up and say, I don't get this. It looks like I'm paying X. Well, it doesn't mean that you might not pay something at closing, because the balance and the interest and all that kind of stuff still matters. You still have to pay the interest for the month. But all right, I'm going a little bit more totally on a tangent than what I intended. Joker Miner with the $4.99 super chat. Boop. Joker.
Punctuation is necessary.
Yes. Punctuation is important. That shows you exactly how punctuation matters. Oh my God. So I will say it the way I hope he intended. Sunflower Mama, love you. Harder next time. Oh my God. Oh, okay. Comma could save a life. Yes. Yes. In this case, it could save a life.
Let's eat grandma.
Yes, right. Okay. Anyway, wow. Wow. That is hilarious.
Well, thanks for the $4.99.
Yeah. So I can do one of two things right now. Feel like we're kind of on a roll and I keep going. I've got one other thing I could talk about, and that is about my non-mining results. This is one of the things I actually intended to do tonight. With all these other things that came up, I didn't end up making this a subject, but my non-mining results. Anybody, and I'll put it up in a chat or in a poll. Does anybody care? Do you care to hear about my non-mining monthly income? Non-mining crypto monthly. Information matters. Actually have to type those in. Well, free cash should be one of them, but that's not the major portion of it. There we go. Poll is up. Joker Miners hyping in mobile. They do. I know it's hard to believe. On a mobile keyboard, they do have commas. Just saying. Just saying. No, not trading income. This is like Hive Mapper, Demo, Flux Node, Prenode, Crank, Helium, and free cash. I think that's everything. But basically that's what I'd be talking about. So we'll see. I'll wait until I get, whoa, I already got 35 votes. Okay. I guess that's a yes. All right. Well, I guess well, let me see. AMA, see if anybody else has anything that they want to ask before I go into that. Yeah, I saw that. What did Red Panda? Okay, I'm gonna reverse the stream to listen to Max talk about LTT and left my ass off. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Well, good night. Anyway, all right. So I don't have a chart or anything. I just wrote it down because I was like, you know what? I've seen some other guys do like their monthly revenue things. I'm like, you know what? I don't even know. I don't even know how much I make. I think SPF will get suicided now. You know, it's crossed my mind, wondering if they will. He's probably has a lot of information on people. We'll see. You can talk about anything. Your voice helps me sleep at night. Well, thanks. I think. Panda picked LTT. No comment. Yeah, he said he was playing both sides. Yeah, sure. Okay, so we'll start with Hive Mapper because this was my outlier for the month. So I made $104 on Hive Mapper. And anybody's got a Hive Mapper is going, wait, hold on. How the heck did you make $104 on Hive Mapper? Well, driving to Huntsville and back through a bunch of like hot areas that aren't driven through a lot. So one of the ways that I go when I drive down to Huntsville, I don't take, again, I live in the Chicago area. That's no secret. Live in the Chicago area. So I can either go down 57 interstate wise. I go down 57 or go down 65. So go through Illinois or go through Indiana, through Louisville or Paducah and end up in Nashville. Okay. Yes, I could do either one of those. I don't take either of those. I basically take 41. It is shorter and gets better gas mileage. And in this case,
and you don't have to go over the expensive bridge.
And you don't have to go over the expensive bridge. That was for you, Mining King. So in Louisville, that is. So yeah. So anyway, so going down 41, it's a new hotter area, and I don't think a lot of people have driven through there with Hive Mapper. So there's that. So yeah, driving 600 miles each way. Yeah, I got paid $104 for the month. So that was cool. Are you calculating your gas expense? Because if not, it's revenue, not income. So the way I look at it is I don't drive just to get Hive Mapper income. If you're doing that, yes, then you're losing money because you're getting paid no more than say 20 cents per mile. That's maximum. And your cost of running your vehicle is going to be higher than 20 cents per mile easily. I don't care what kind of vehicle you're running. The cost is going to be higher because you depreciate the value of your car for every mile you drive. So the way I use Hive Mapper is if I'm driving somewhere, I turn it on. So that's all. That's all I use Hive Mapper for. I don't make special trips. So I was driving down to Huntsville anyway. Anniversary trip. We went down to visit my son. We came back to Nashville, went to a concert, and then came home. So I'm driving those miles anyway. So this is just a way of subsidizing the cost of the trip. So yes, it's revenue. I'll certainly classify it as revenue against the cost of what I'm driving. But bottom line, to me, the net is a benefit because I would have been driving those miles anyway. So $104 on Hive Mapper. I made $137 on Demo. That was a surprise. In fact, actually, let me see, because I did it based upon 244 per Demo. So bear with me here 1 second while I pull it up, because today, sorry, logging in. There we go. And market, right? See earnings. So it was 244. Now it's down to 219. You know what? I may have done that wrong. Hold on. I think I may have done that wrong. I may be half that. Hang on. So 244 times 4. I may have multiplied it by 8, meaning like thinking each unit was 244, but it's one unit, or both units put together was 244. Now it's 219. So it is going down a bit. Times 497, so around 1,000. So what was price of demo? I think I definitely did this one wrong. I did it late last night. So yeah, it's like half of what I did. I doubled it by accident. It's about 70, between 70 and $80, not 137. So I got that one wrong. Let's see. Because the demo app doesn't like actually tell you like you made this much this week, this much this week, this much this week. It just tells you what the latest payout was, and that's all. So anyway, so that's like $76 or so. So basically about $50 less than that. So that's going to be $329. Okay. So there's that. Then on my Flux node, I made $31 on all my Flux nodes put together. Again, I should be making over 40, but I was still having a few issues because remember last month I had to reset the router. So that affected because four nodes went down during that period of time. So there's been a few things that have affected it. Recently had a problem with one of my nodes yesterday. I think I have that sorted out, but we'll see. But anyway, so $31 is how much I made on my Flux nodes in July. My 8 Flux nodes. I made $9.6. So $9.60 I made on my 2 pre nodes put together. Uncover what screen? Oh, this? Oh, got it. Sorry. Sorry. Where'd it go? Oh, that's right. I see what I did. No, I only have 2 on this window. I just moved over to a different one. So I'm rocking a flannel in GTA 5 and my name is Max Joker Miner. Hey, I'm the only one, although I uninstalled GTA 5. It just wasn't fun. I didn't know what to do. It was, I don't know. There was a large learning curve that I wasn't interested enough in doing. So, but I am happy that you are rocking the flannel. Appreciate that. All right, so moving on. So I did Hive Mapper, Demo, Flux Node, Pre-Node, and then Crank I have 2 Crank hotspots, and that's making $78. So that's doing well. And then Helium, I made a whopping $10, but hey, $10 is $10. I'm not doing anything with it. It's just sitting there making money. So $10. And then Free Cash, I made $10 last month. So not a lot. I was having some issues. I don't know. I think when my CPU miner's running, the window that has the video tends to crash a bit more. And so I was doing a lot more CPU mining on my personal computer overnight. So it would crash, so I wouldn't get as much. In fact, that reminds me, I need to redeem my points since it's over 1,000. Ching. And start playing the video. I'll worry about the free cash stuff afterwards. But now recently I started kind of getting on my my free cash kick again. And there's a couple of games that I downloaded. I did Raid Shadow Legends, which I think I'm pretty much done with that. I didn't really make a whole heck of a lot of money on that, like 75 cents, I think, something like that. There's this Coin Master game that is honestly so addicting, and it just begs you to buy stuff. I mean, it's pretty typical, but Yeah, I'm about at the point where I'm just going to delete the game. I made I think like $20 or something on it, something like that. Not a lot, but hey, it's something. And I'll move on to the next game. So I did something big in March with a push on free cash, but then I kind of ran out of things to actually like do. Now there's a whole bunch of new things, so I can go back into it and do those things. So that's what I'm doing this month and seeing how much money I can make with free cash this month. So you're welcome, DJ. You're welcome. He may not be here anymore, but he knows I'm his biggest referral income on free cash. So Ted says decrease the threads by 2 and the video should not crash. I actually have it only on 28 threads on a 32 thread processor, so you wouldn't think so. So I don't know. I mean, I suppose I could do 26 instead of 28, but it should work at 28. All right, let's see what else people have to say. So Patrick Murray says there's an Uber offer now, $100-ish. Well, that's kind of a weak offer. Usually Uber will offer more than that just on their own app itself. And I've been an Uber driver before. I'm still registered with Uber, although I haven't driven in about 4 years, somewhere around there. But yet they still are begging me to drive. Reyes Mining says, would you sell most of your Flux nodes to buy a Noctua master node? No, as I could do that. Let's see, would that be enough? Let's see. 8,000 times 0.4. Yeah, that would be it. That'd be about enough, I think, to actually buy a Noctua master node. But no, I would not do that. I like running it. I like running my Flux nodes. I've learned a lot. It's more than just the money that I'm making on it. It's what I've learned along the way trying to run a Flux node, trying to run as many Flux nodes as I have run. I have learned so much about routing and Linux that I wouldn't change a thing. So for me, I think Flux is going places, but at the same time, it has a certain amount of sentimental value to me in order to have these Flux nodes running. And while they can be frustrating, I learn lessons all the time. So take, for instance, yesterday, all of a sudden, one of my Flux nodes would not pass a benchmark because of upload speed and because of drive speed. I was like, what the heck is going on with this thing? So I changed a port. I changed the port that it plugged into on my switch. Didn't change anything. Same exact result. Did rebooting, restarting, didn't change anything. Finally decided, okay, fine. I'm just going to change out the Ethernet cable. And lo and behold, boom, everything worked. It's like, what the heck? So it's one of two things. It might have been the Ethernet cable. I haven't tested that Ethernet cable. Or it was the fact that it was running near the PDU and it wasn't properly insulated against RF or electrical interference. So that's what I'm wondering might have been the cause. But now I don't have that cable running anywhere near that. And it ran fine for a long time. So it could just be a degradation of the cable too, since it was running fine for so long, then suddenly just started having this problem. Or maybe it was just the fact that I needed to reseat the cable. I don't know. It's, yeah. Crypto Shape says, just play a lot of Rust. No, thank you. That's another game that man, there's some of these games that if the game doesn't have a beginning and an end, I don't really want to play it ongoing because you're constantly just the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And this is when I get no sleep. And yeah, I mean, yes, sometimes when I'm playing StarCraft, I'm like, one more, I gotta win. One more, I gotta win. But it's still different. There's still an end to it. So I don't know. I need that in order to be able to step away from it. Paddywhack Miner says, my Helium hotspot is only giving me IoT. Should I be receiving mobile, or is there a way to select your reward type? Well, Network Bits will be able to answer this, but my understanding is no, you're going to be getting IoT because that's what you're doing. You're doing LoRaWAN, which is IoT. Helium Mobile is a separate frequency that you need a separate miner for. I don't know if you can actually modify any of these to like add something to it, but bottom line is you do need to have a transmitter that does Helium Mobile. All right. Annie, I've gone for a long time, a lot longer than I normally do, and I got to be up tomorrow to be at work by 4:30 a.m. Woohoo! Yeah, I'll be in. This will be a short night. Any other questions before we go? Ovalboard Tech says mobile is a separate registered radio for CBRS, not compatible with any other miners. Joker Miner says IoT, but can convert to other coins. Absolutely. In fact, I'm taking my IoT and I'm basically buying Solana with it. So I didn't have a Solana bag, so I'm using the IoT I am earning and buying Solana with it. Bacon, Eggs, and Hash says, Overboard Tech, I gotta see how the KS0 pans out before I can buy any more equipment. I definitely want to start a build though. And Yaris Try says, Max, is GPU shortage a potential issue? Yes. Yes, it is. And the reason behind that, in fact, Jay's 2 cents did a video on this, and I know that Hawk did a video. I haven't seen it yet, but I know Hawk did a video on it as well with a slightly different viewpoint. But Jay's 2 cents viewpoint of it was that look at what NVIDIA is doing. NVIDIA is taking, well, first of all, they only have 2.5% of the capacity of TSMC. So if they can sell a piece of silicon in a GPU, an AI GPU for $70,000, or heck, they could build something, a lesser chip, but still not going to be making the same profit margin by selling to the consumer market. They are going to, here, let me end that. They are going to decide to do the thing with higher profit. They're going to. So the more the demand is for AI GPUs, the more they're going to direct their efforts towards that. On top of that, though, is if they run out of those types of GPUs, they're going to take anything they can get. So they'll start buying the high-end GPUs like the 4090s, the 4080s, and basically, like I said, buy anything that they can get, even though it will run slower. So that's where the next demand could be coming from, is from the demand for AI. So, and Jay's 2 cents doesn't realize that there's another crypto boom coming, which probably means there's going to be another mining boom. And so that will just contribute to it yet again. So I was actually looking at Crypto Capital Ventures video today, and he was on a completely different subject, but he showed like where we are in the cycles, and we are in the accumulation stage. We're at the point where we're probably not going to see a lot of down. Maybe, you know, not the last one, but the time before that, there was a big dip right before the halving. So we could still get something like that. It came right back up, but it could be another opportunity to buy. No guarantee though, because the last one we didn't see that, or at least not really significant. So we're in the accumulation phase. I think that goes for mining hardware as well. Not saying I'm going to be buying, but if you have the cash, now is not necessarily a bad time to be purchasing mining equipment. I don't think we're going to see much lower prices. We're not going to see the crazy low prices like we did the last time, the last bear market. But all right, let's see. Is blue pill shortage a potential issue? I do not know. I do not know. I do not need blue pills. Unless they're
He's
Advil.
talking about blue pills or red pills from the stupid Nitro.
No, that's not what he's talking about. All right, Joker Miner, same. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. Crypto Craig, I'm only here for max voltage financial advice. This is not financial advice. Matt K, this is only opinion. Matt K, welcome Max K, appreciate you being here. Are you sure you're only making $31 on 8 nodes? Have you checked it on? Well, yes, it is low because I've had outages. So that's real numbers, not what it should be if they were consistently running. And as I said, the reason why they're lower is because I had to completely reset my MikroTik router because somehow either I lost my password or the password wasn't working. I'm pretty sure I knew the password because I know what I've been setting my passwords to. But regardless, I needed to reset it so that I could recover and actually get into the unit. It was running great, but that was my only way, was basically doing a flat out hard reset. So since then, I have made a backup login and backed up the configuration to my computer. So that way, if I ever run into that situation, I can just replace it with the backup. Also, I'm not going to run into the situation because I have a backup login that I can use, and then reset the password on the other one because they both have equal rights. So yeah, I should have done that in the first place. There were plenty of videos that told you should be doing things like that, but I got it up and running. I was like, woohoo, got it up and running. I'm just going to let it go. And then ended up having to do that. So hopefully that serves the lesson for somebody of what not to do. Oh, seriously. That's why I run Ubiquiti. This was pilot error, most likely. MikroTik is great. I love my MikroTik HAP AX cubed. It runs phenomenally. And it's a little bit more pro than prosumer, like Ubiquiti is prosumer. This one, you can see into the guts and see what's going on. As I compare it to like a consumer grade router is like Apple. It runs just fine for most things, but when something goes wrong, you have no idea what's going on inside. With Windows, yeah, it might sometimes crap out, but at least you can fix the problem. You can look to see what's going on. And with a MikroTik, I have not run into any issues, like I said, other than self-inflicted. And I can tell when things are changing. It does require you to go a few extra steps in order to set things up properly. But once you have them set up properly, you're golden. And that's where I'm at now. I haven't had any issues with any UPnP issues now that I have things set up properly. So, all righty. Well, I have been going over an hour and a half, way over my quota of an hour. So I am going to let you guys go. Thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate it. And I will see you again next Monday. Same bat time, same bat channel. I did not get to watching your video yet. As far as the price, the GPU pricing, I actually said that. So I know you have a little bit different take on it than Jay's 2 cents, but same outcome really. So could be a double whammy. But alrighty, this is the General signing out. Good night, everybody.